brother. What's on your mind? What's on your heart?
No, please. I'm just agreeing with you.
I know your time is important, and I appreciate, just for a moment, I just want everybody to understand, like, Flynn is super high level. That's why nobody knows him. That's why he's ET coach, right? And the people who need to know him are the people who do know him because his marketing plan makes sense. He's not all over the place. He's not going live on IG because his people are not on IG. So remember, I told you, business, first rule of business, location, location, location. Where are your clients? Where are the people who's your ideal client? No, who's your ideal client? People who can pay you, right? People who can pay you. Let's go there first. Idealistic, but then ideal. Make sure they can pay you. So when you want a certain pay grade, you build the ideal life that you want to have, and then you build the ideal business that's going to support that life. So Flynn set goals as far as the income and the revenue and the quality of life that he wants for himself, children, wife, and then he builds the ideal business that's going to support that and doesn't look to the right or to the left. Laser training. Laser training. Stay locked in, stay dialed in. Flynn, how important has being in a community that is supportive, focused, laser targeted been to your consistency and your ability to build momentum and then keep continuity amidst the constant barrage of real life situations?
Oh, Shaan, bro, I can't even, you all please hear this. In fact, how I even met ET in the first place was I joined the community. So I was a customer before E and I got to a point where he became a client. I was a client of theirs before he became a client of mine. I was eating the dog food from them before they started eating my dog food, right? And so that's important, Shaan, because here's what's crazy, y'all. I had the skill and experience this whole time. What's crazy is not a whole lot has changed about me. I mean, I've read many more books. I've obviously grown. I'm a voracious reader and learner. So of course, every day I'm growing and learning. But generally speaking, a lot of the same relationships I had back then, I have now. I just wasn't capitalizing on them. I got into community and it changed everything, because in community, I saw, ooh, whoa, that person's doing that. And in community, I saw, whoa, it's 20 other people executing like that. Like, whoa, what? And man, it changed my life. Like, y'all got to hear me on the community tip. You can be the most gifted, most talented person in the world. Absent community, there is no way you're going to fully optimize who you are. It's just, and please hear me, with the people I walk with every single day, every one of them is living at the level of greatness they're living at because of community. Now, there's character and competency and chemistry and a number of other things that I talk about when I speak, but I'm telling you, community has everything to do with my success. I would not be where I am. Me and Shaan wouldn't know each other without that community. Right. So that's right. It's been a game changer for me. And again, what was the biggest regret I have is that I wasn't a part of this particular community sooner. Now, I will say this last thing, Shaan. I like to say, show me your 3 closest friends and I'll show you your future.
Give them a round of applause on that. Come on.
Now here,
that's right. We talked about
it. And the reason that's important is because I had community before, but I had that community. Those community members were low riders. They were low riders. They weren't trying to get to
hold on. I'm sorry. Did you say low riders, brother?
I said low riders, bro.
They was low riders.
Yeah, low riders. Shaan, they were comfortable, just trying to get to 100 grand. Right. Whoa. And so that I mean annually. Right. They were trying to make 100 grand annually. Right. I'm like, and I knew, Shaan, I always knew something was wrong with that. Meaning that was the epitome. That was the peak.
Best life. That was their best life.
That was the best life. I just it was all I knew. By the way, I didn't tell y'all, I was born to a teenage mom in poverty. So I grew up in poverty. I grew up around much of my family. So of course, 6 figures in my world at that time was like, oh, wow. But then I got around some racehorses. I got around I got around people like Shaan, right? And it's like, oh, okay, oh, we can go now. Okay, I got it. We can go now.
Come on, guys, we can go now.
Yeah.
Right. And I know you started to go into something about the competency, the character. Go ahead, brother. Please expound on that. Please expound on that. Give them some jewels. Be organic. It's phenomenal. It's completely wanted, warranted, appreciated, needed, received with open arms and warmly, brother. Go right ahead.
Teach. Well, just real quick, those 5 C's that so I talk about culture. I learned the importance of culture from a guy named Don Soderquist. I mean, I've been hearing about it, but I went and stayed in the personal home of a guy named Don Soderquist, who he succeeded Sam Walton. When Sam Walton, Sam Walton founded Walmart. And when Sam Walton retired, Don Soderquist succeeded him and took Walmart from 40 billion in operating revenue to over 240 some billion in 11 years. Single greatest growth for a retail brand in our world's history. Not even sure if we'll ever see that again. Now, Amazon online, etc., but we're talking big box retailer, a $200 billion growth in 11 years. And so he talked about the culture. And that's when I really grabbed hold of the importance of, what you're building. You have to have a climate that speaks to the direction and the path you're actually trying to take. So if you're trying to build a culture and you bring in people that distract you from the culture, from the core values you're trying to build, it can ruin everything you're trying to build. So of course, character, don't let talent take you where character cannot sustain you. There are so many athletes and professional, there are a lot of big name people that I work with that because of their issues with character, they have the talent, but they can't stay on top because their character keeps pulling them down and tearing them down. Right. And so a competency, of course, you have to have, when you put me in front of a CEO, I need to be able to deliver. So when I got a call from Coca-Cola and they said, hey, you're going to be working with the downline of the CFO of North America, and I'm up against a major Fortune 500 brand that they have on retainer. They said, we already have a company, a major brand on retainer that does coaching for our business, but we saw you online and we heard about some of the nuggets you were dropping, and we have a particular executive in our company that we think you can help. Tell us about your process. And in a 45-minute interview, I had to pitch a C-suite executive at Coca-Cola on why they should bring little old me in compared to a Fortune 500 company that they already have on retainer. And they said, we're going to be paying you more money, but we actually like your process and your strategy better than the company we already have on retainer. So I took that 45 minutes and I killed it. And boom, I landed that contract.
Hold on, Anthony. Hold on. Thank you so much, brother. But let me just pull out some salient points, right, for everybody. Or let me clarify to make sure that I'm right. Number one, you marketed consistent. First, you set a target. You set a target for quality of life, and then you set a target for the business model that's going to sustain that quality of life.
Absolutely.
Do you believe that revenue is the lifeblood of business?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so you set a number target. Built the business around the number target. Consistently marketed, put up the needs, the must-haves, the website, the logo the right way. The website the right way, the logo the right way. Those were some investments, weren't they?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely.
Yeah, and then you went to work and you marketed consistently with no real traction, no real, no drips, like maybe small drips here and there, but nothing huge until about 6 months. And that was based on prior relationships, basically, wasn't it?
100%, bro.
Okay, 100%. And you didn't really strike it where you are now, or where you needed to be or wanted to be, but you kept grinding in the trenches and you joined the community in the first 3 years.
Absolutely.
And then around the 4th year, you struck gold. You struck iron, like oil started jumping out. And now you're with the sports teams. Now you're with the number one motivational speaker in the world. Now you're headlining yourself. I know you're speaking. I know your itinerary. So that's why I appreciate your time.
Yep.
But the thing I want people to understand is that it didn't make a difference who else was in the running.
Oh, bro. Yeah, focus.
It didn't make a difference who else. You didn't even know who else was in the running. You're just consistently grinding and digging. You're digging your trenches. You're playing your game. You're not measuring yourself to the left or to the right. You're just measuring your game and being consistent and steady on your grind. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, you get a call from Coca-Cola.
Yep. True story, bro. True. And let me say this. Shaan has gifts, skills, and talents that no matter how hard I try for the rest of my life, I would never be able to do things. There are some specific things he can do the way I could never do them, and vice versa, right? And so to your point, Shaan, on when I got that call from Coke, all I did was be me. It sounds kind of crazy, and it sounds
brand
oversimplified.
you is what I heard. All he did was be him. Brand you, not what you do. You're not in competition.
That's powerful.
You're in competition with your limiting beliefs.
That's it.
Of who you might not be good as, who you might not be able to compete with. But as long as you go ahead, finish, brother.
I gotta tell this last story, Shaan.
I get excited, you know.
Oh,
brother.
no, you good. No, you actually just gave me some fuel. No, keep it coming. I'll tell this last story because I want to honor our time. I'll tell this last story.
Yes, sir.
So to the point you just made, brand you, not what you do, and the consistency. I'll close with this. When about 3 or 4 years ago, I had an opportunity to present to FedEx. And I presented the exact same thing that I presented to Coca-Cola. And FedEx, there was a person in the executive suite that said, well, you're not ICF, International Coaching Federation. You're not ICF certified.
Here we go.
So you can't, unfortunately, we can't let you in our pipeline. We already have coaches. We can't let. Now, to the point Shaan made earlier, and I'll wrap with this. Right there, you all, I could have quit, hung up the cleats.
Yep.
And walked away and said, man, unless I got an ICF certification, then guess what? There's no way I'll ever. So let me put everything on hold and let me go and spend all this time getting ICF certified.
Woo,
then I'll come back. This same exact presentation with just some different adjustments on my slides. I presented the same thing to Coca-Cola, a bigger brand, a larger company who found me online, and they said, we've never seen this before. The clients, the company we have on file right now has been doing this for years, but nobody has ever presented what you just presented to us. It was the DNA of me. It was something I put together off my years of experience and just knowing the impact that it had on the people I work with. I'm like, ICF can't teach you this. So I refuse to let a closed door and a no from FedEx at the time hinder me from continuing to pursue what I knew in the DNA of who I was. I knew that if I kept charting the course and kept getting up early in the morning, doing exactly what I was doing, that eventually the momentum would catch up. Now, here's what's crazy. Between us, we're on the line for a multi-7-figure contract with FedEx. By the way, we're just working through.
Let's go. Come on. And you know what? We just gonna put that in the energy, put that in the atmosphere. You're gonna get this one, brother. You're gonna get this one. You know why? The money's in the follow-up.
Yeah.
The money's in the follow-up, and consistency beats intensity every time. Brother, I thank you so much for your time. Give Anthony Flynn another round of applause.
Y'all be blessed. Shaan, I appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir, brother. Thank you. I humbly thank you, brother, from the bottom of my heart. You know, a lot of people that I could have brought, and you were one of them. I thank you for being a good brother, being a husband, a father, having the right moral values and principles, because if you don't have those character traits, we can't rock. So I greatly appreciate those things about you. Please understand that, guys. If we don't mesh, we can't work together. I don't care what you make, who you are, what value you can provide. If you don't bring the moral fiber, then my brand won't sustain that. You understand? So look for people like yourself and make sure you yourself are of impeccable character and high value. Brother, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate your time, man. If you had a quotable, already, if you didn't write this down, guys, DNA of me. I caught it. DNA of me. Every time I listen to you, I learn something, right? My mind's like a mental recorder, so I just write it down while you say it in my head. But if you quotable, if you got one quotable, one sentence, two sentences top, to leave them and help me as I wrap up this business to brand Myrtle Beach Mastermind. You know you were part of the first one. This is the inaugural one, so we just made history. But thank you. Next time you'll probably be here physically. But what would be the quotable?
Yep. Don't overestimate who you actually are at the expense of underestimating who you have the ability to become.
Woo. Say it again. Say it again, brother. Yeah. See what happens when you say condense it and focus it? Say it again.
Don't overestimate who you actually are or where you actually are at the expense of underestimating who you have the ability to become. Right. So if you, a lot of people spend their time dreaming and they're overestimating the reality of where they currently are. And so they get up and they move around as though their dream is already their reality. So they don't keep working to the speed that they should be working at and at the pace they should be working at, so they can actually build the dream that they have in their head. So many of us overestimate who and where we actually are. And we kind of since I had the dream and I'm energized by the dream, I'll pull back on the actual grind.
Yes,
so no.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that's the importance of marketing.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. So I tell everybody all the time, brother, that the brand is the who, the marketing is the how. You have been of an immense and tremendous assistance in this mission that I have to help entrepreneurs make their yearly income monthly, their monthly income weekly, their weekly income daily, and go from maybe 5 figures to 6 figures or 6 figures to 7-figure earners. Thank you so much, Anthony Flynn. Guys, give it up.
Y'all be blessed, man. Y'all be blessed.
Come on. Now, I would never have anybody's wife be mad at me, brother. So please go give your wife the best from Shaan Rais and these phenomenal entrepreneurs here, and tell her I said thank you personally for allowing us to steal you for these 30 minutes.
Y'all be blessed, man.